Welcome back to This Takes the Cake. We're super excited and honored. We have our Charleston office owner, Miss Alyssa.
Hi, everyone. Excited to be back.
I know, right? This is a fun one we're going to be talking about.
I know.
From intern to being your own boss, right?
Covering all the bases.
So what I did, I went back to see the first email of when you became an intern.
It's probably embarrassing.
So it was April 19th, 2017. She said, "To whom it may concern. I have attached my resume and cover letter for review. I appreciate your time. Thank you, Alyssa Gore." So what response did you get?
So I got that the internship positions had been filled despite reaching out in April. So I just let it ride. And then I reached back out in 2018 and I was able to become an intern that year.
Yes.
Which worked out great because it steered right into senior year and right into what I wanted to do career-wise. So It worked out great.
And so your attachment is probably something, if anybody knows me that's listening, they definitely know.
It's too long.
I didn't read this.
You're like, I'm going to look her up on Facebook instead.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. I love it.
All the details.
All right. So it was 2018. You interned with us.
Yeah.
And were you spring or fall?
I was summer.
Summer.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Summer
All right,
going
cool.
into senior year. So May to August or so.
And
Yeah.
So what do you remember the most about?
For sure.
You remember probably a lot.
So you learn a lot when you're an intern. And I even tell my assistants and interns this now. If you have an interest in the event planning world, you need to dive into it and get some kind of experience, because if you just jump into this head first, you have no clue what you're doing. You have no clue if you actually like it, if you want to devote your weekends to this. So, I mean, I do remember asking you, I was like, so we show up before ceremony and we go at the end, right? And you were like, no, ma'am, you'll be there at 9 a.m. and we will be gone at 11. So you learn a lot. But it's great though, because I remember being part of every step. You definitely let me take charge on documents and being part of meetings and kind of getting out of my comfort zone.
Yeah,
So
no, totally.
I really got to, Sara.
Of all people.
But I really got to learn if I enjoyed it or not.
Absolutely. So you did weddings, proposals with us. Did you ever do any birthday parties or other events when you interned?
I think we were all weddings. Yeah, I think we were all weddings when I was there. I think we did set up one baby shower, and that was in North Myrtle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember what
They lived in
restaurant.
Australia.
Yeah.
They came
was
from Australia
cute.
to Myrtle Beach for their baby shower.
And it was super cute.
Yeah.
I mean, they were so nice.
I
But I
remember
do
that.
remember doing that, but it was mostly weddings. And
Remember we walked to the spa?
yeah. I mean, happy ending, anybody?
So there was a spa at the end of where we set up for the baby shower, and we had some time to kill, I think. I don't know. We didn't want to drive all the way back. So there was a spa on the end, and we went in to ask about a massage, and she's like, we busy.
And it was red. The lights were red. It was very dim. And we were like, this is a happy ending. But that's the day I learned what a happy ending even was. So, internships are good for everything.
What was the craziest thing I asked you to do as an intern?
Oh, craziest thing you asked me to do?
Or do you remember?
I'm trying to think, but I do remember the craziest thing that happened when I was an intern.
Oh, okay. Let's hear that one.
So we were in the office, and we would just leave the door open, if it felt nice outside. And this man, scary-looking man, walks through the door, and he's like, can I use your phone? My friend isn't calling me back, and they're going to be here soon. And I was like, that's so weird. But Sara was like, come on in. And I'm sitting at the intern table like, what are you doing? I'm scared.
But the intern table was the consultation table.
Yeah, everything was the same in the whole office. But, I'm just hanging out and I'm watching her. And she's like, you can take my phone. Just stay right here next to my desk. You can talk to your friend, whatever you need to do. I'm sitting there like, this man is scary. He could hurt us. He finishes his phone call. Sara's like, all right, be on your merry way. And she looks at me and she goes, you know why I did that? I was like, what? And she was like, invited him in. And I was like, why? And she was like, he was on my property. I could have shot him. I was
He was in the door.
I know. He was in the door. So
He was all the way in. It's too funny.
definitely remember that.
That's funny. I remember that you did the receipts. How could you forget that?
Yeah. Taxes.
Taxes.
So helping with the taxes, which was nice because I think Sara knew and I knew, like, I wanted to start a business and do my own thing. So it was great. And she was like, I mean, if you want to do it. And
Right.
yeah,
I did
the
pay her
receipts.
for that, though.
Yeah, you
got
did.
paid for that.
For
Yeah,
sure.
I didn't torture you.
No,
Too
that
bad.
was good.
Okay, so let's talk about people that want to be a part of SMB
Yeah.
and to be a part of the internship. I guess we'll just talk about the process and all that good stuff. I'll let you kind of
Yeah,
take the reins on that.
absolutely. I can kind of go through the whole process because
Yeah.
I've done it all. But as far as the intern side, of course, it starts with initially reaching out, expressing your interest.
To whom it
showing-
may concern.
To whom it may concern, as if I could have looked it up and saw that it was Sara and maybe a lead at that time.
Maybe.
But obviously expressing your concern, showing that you're a strong candidate, all of those good things. I did an interview with them. And I was scared to death, but
You came in the
obviously-
office, right? Yep,
came in the office, did an in-person interview. We talked about all the things, but I left refreshed because I was like, okay, they're really cool, like very personable, but online we're scary. I feel like, just strong boss ladies. So did that, obviously got the job. And then throughout the internship, we covered so many bases, from documents to working weddings to cleaning glass cylinder vases for proposals, all the things, and
So fun.
even taxes.
Yep,
So
you learned a little bit of everything.
and it was nice. It was great, and we had like our specified hours and days of the week, so it definitely kind of got you on that schedule that you would get used to.
Right.
And throughout the internship, and I think even in my interview, I had watched my dad own a business. I loved the freedom. No cap on the money you can make. And I was like, this is what I want to do. And I want to open one in Charleston. So I do feel like I had little trials here and there where Sara was like, let me test her and see if she would be good with this or not.
Right.
Like the peanut butter jelly test, which I
Yep.
feel like you sent your dad.
Yeah.
But just little tests like that.
And I knew Alyssa was
But-
going to be great when I'd get emails. And I'm like, is that email from me? Was that an email I wrote?
Is she a clone?
Yeah, it was in the same font, the same color.
Right? No, like attention to detail was definitely big. And then I remember just one day Sara turned around and she was like, would you want to own Charleston? And I was like, what? Like little intern me going into senior year.
Right.
And of course I was like over the moon about it. And I was like, so how do I do that? Like, so what happens next?
What do we do? What do we do?
For sure.
Yeah, so when you officially became a part of SMB, because I mean, you went from internship to
owner.
There was no like
No
worked as an
cap.
employee or like
No.
you know.
I never
Yeah.
worked for anyone else.
From 0 to 100 real quick.
Right? I know. I was like, she must really trust me.
So once you signed, you were still in school.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't it about like 6 months, I guess, or
Yeah,
was it?
6 months or so.
okay.
It was like
Yeah.
fall semester of senior year, but I knew it's what I wanted to do. My
Right.
schedule was light. Obviously, I grew up in Myrtle, was very familiar with Charleston, but
Yeah.
would drive 3.5 hours for meetings,
Yeah.
like in a day, back and forth. And I mean, I loved it. You do what you have to do
Yeah.
when you're building.
No,
so.
for sure. All right, what advice would you give to interns?
For sure. So, interns, pay attention to detail.
Yes.
If you're not 15 minutes early or late, and just be the best that you can be. Be invested in this job. Like, don't
Take notes.
slack off.
write
Yeah,
down.
take notes. Be focused. Because if you put your all into it, it can turn into something like this. So
Absolutely,
you really
yeah.
just never know where it can go. But internships, they're investing in you. You're investing in them, and definitely make it worth their
Yeah,
while.
absolutely.
So.
'Cause, I mean, I always did headshots for you girls. I don't know, no business cards.
There
right?
were so
No
many things.
business
We didn't do business
Just
cards, but
headshots.
headshots. And I mean, even the experience in introducing us to people that you trust
Yeah.
and letting us be on site for high-end clients. Like, it's definitely important that you're doing your part.
No, of course. No, absolutely. So would you say the biggest thing that you learned?
Yeah. Biggest thing that I learned for sure was even the fact that I wanted to do it. I went into it obviously having no clue, thinking we showed up right before the ceremony, but having the well-rounded experience, like I definitely was like, I want to do this. I want to be working weekends and doing all of the good things. But just like you can be a boss lady. You can be strong. Like, you can
Right.
lead it all on your own. You don't need someone to do it for you. So,
Exactly.
yeah.
Did
you
we have
learn
any
these things.
bad clients when you were an intern? Do you remember any?
Oh, we did.
Oh, yeah?
We did have one.
Let's hear.
So I'm sure you remember this was at their home. And I was a scared little intern. So I was working
How
under
could we
the
ever
lead
forget
planner.
the garbage email?
Yes, the garbage email.
Well, this
You've
is a
never
good-
been called garbage. These people would call you garbage.
I was a garbage wedding planner,
Yeah, garbage wedding planner.
and you
I
could
mean,
run circles around me.
Yeah.
That was in
Which
the
is
email.
insane.
Yeah, I could run
Absolutely
circles,
insane.
and not sure how I ran a business. I can't remember everything it
Yeah,
said.
lots of things. And you got the blame for like 2 dance floor pieces that they wanted a refund for,
Yeah,
which not on
but
you.
didn't it rain on their wedding day?
It did.
It poured.
Yeah.
And it was our
rained.
fault, though.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I remember you were
everything
there
was.
with another lead.
Yes,
Yeah.
I was there with the lead, like doing my thing, filling candy jars,
I
whatever.
said the
but-
candy jars.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that one. And then I think we worked, these clients were great, but one of the most difficult weddings just because we were out on the water. You can probably guess the venue. I don't think you work at this venue anymore.
Oh, okay.
But out on the water and the bugs and the dirt, like I got home, got in the shower, and
You
I
couldn't
kid you
pay
not.
me to go back to that venue.
No, it was bad. They were lovely, but that
Isn't
experience.
it like a 2-mile dirt road to get there?
Yeah,
And,
and
a
you
one
drive all the way
and a
back.
one-wayer.
Yeah,
So like if someone starts to drive down and someone's coming up, someone's got to turn around.
exactly. I know, it was very interesting, and it definitely teaches you what you don't want to do. But they were lovely. We were watching someone's
Yeah.
baby. Like, they were great.
I'm so dead.
Yeah.
All right, what things do you look for in interviewing an intern or a new hire?
For sure. When it comes to interviewing the girls, honestly, headstrong, independent, detail oriented, and that they have a strong personality. I feel like in this job, you cannot just
And that
be like,
I think that's
hey.
a thing to be a planner. You have to be strong personality.
You do, yeah, because I mean, you're dealing with people's emotions and all these big life decisions, and finances are involved.
multiple personalities.
Yeah, and I mean, you see all the things come out, like mom's fighting with bride and vice versa, and you're having to be in between and all these things. So if you have a strong personality, you can deal with it, you can shut it down, and I feel like people respect that you come off like this is what it's going to be.
Right.
So, you can even tell like over the phone, obviously seeing them in person, that they're going to be able to handle that. Because, sometimes it's like being super anxious. Like, I feel like this job will kill you. So,
Right, no, for sure.
Yeah.
I just did a interview a day or two ago, and very strong. Came
Yeah.
in, strong personality, well beyond her years of her age. I finally
Love
did
it.
ask her age.
Yeah.
She obviously dressing is super important when you're coming to
Yes.
an interview.
Yeah.
She had a cute little folder with her resume in it. It's the first thing she handed me.
Love that. She's
Great,
organized.
Great conversation, eye contact, all the things. And at the end of the interview, she said, "Is there anything that's hindering you from from hiring me from this interview?" I was like, "You go, girl."
That's a
Yeah.
first.
Yeah. And
I love
then,
that.
after we said goodbye, she shook my hand. She handed me a little thank you card with my name on it. And it was a little thank you card. Thank you for the opportunity to come in to interview.
Love that.
And then a follow-up email after the interview.
She knew what she was doing.
Yeah.
For sure.
Someone trained her.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, she sounds lovely. If you don't bring her on, she'll at least hear you bragging on her. So
Right?
I know. But yeah,
I
those
love
things go a long way. Just attention to detail and
Yeah. No,
going the extra
absolutely.
mile.
So we'll talk about how you became involved in the
Yeah.
process. I know things have changed a little bit
For
since
sure.
since you came on. It was like, hey,
Right?
just do this. So we'll talk about the process of how you got started with SMB and like the protocol and everything that you went through.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
What was
I didn't even know you had a doorbell. What? Circling back.
Let's talk about the process of obviously starting a franchise with SMB.
Yeah.
So we'll kind of talk everybody through it.
Absolutely.
So
For sure. So I think I'm really the only owner, I guess, other than Miss Tampa, that started working with you and then
Yeah.
obviously going from there. But of course, we had talked about it, and then going from there, it was really just kind of you handing over all of this information and a checklist saying, this is what this is going to look like. Like, You're going to dive in deep. But it was amazing because I feel like starting a business can be so overwhelming.
Yeah, no, for
And the
sure.
checklist was lovely. It was like, you're going to start an LLC, and then you're going to open a bank
And what's
account.
an EIN? And what do I got to do?
Exactly. Like,
Yeah.
what are all these things? So from going to intern and helping you with things to like, oh, I'm going to be like in charge of doing these things now. All of those tools were super helpful.
Yeah.
So of course we had those discussions. You knew me from interning. And then of course she passed me over that information. And then we just worked along that process together, which was
Yeah.
really nice. So, you're giving me all the advice of, here's how you establish an LLC. You need to have an accountant. You need to do all these things.
Right. And it was good because you were still in school, so it wasn't like you were immediate, like, need to have full salary, like, that week.
Yeah.
Which
So,
was great, too.
it's amazing. And it worked out well. And people are like, oh my gosh, you're so crazy for doing it. But I'm like, I knew what I wanted to do. I moved straight to Charleston and I never had to work anywhere else.
So how old were you when you
So,
signed?
21, I think.
Right? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Which is crazy.
So-
It'll be 6 years
Yeah.
this year.
That's
It's
crazy.
insane.
Yeah, no, that's crazy.
But yeah, it was definitely a great process. We worked alongside each other and just kind
And we
of
have
got through
a
it all
lot
together.
more ways of, like, keeping up with things and protocols now than we did.
Oh my gosh,
then.
of course. Like, I
Right.
mean, the growth from 2018 to 2024, I mean, it's insane.
Yeah,
Being
it
one
is
of the
crazy.
first two to now is having, 12?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, things happen
No.
fast.
So with the franchise, I guess we can talk about what type of support you get for being part of a franchise. So.
Absolutely. So when you start your own business, you're just kind of going out on your own. No history. People do not know you, all of the good things. So when you're starting a franchise, you've got the backing of Sara, who's been doing this for over a decade, knows the industry, already knows people, all of the good things. So whether you need support from the building to questions on taxes to getting into how to handle clients and all of these good things, there's pretty much not a limit on how we can have support or questions that we can ask, which is
Yeah,
amazing.
Of course.
And obviously, over the course of the past 6 years,
Those
it's
people have
gone-
grown. It's not just me now.
right? So it's
Right.
gone from me and Sara and Jackie to me and Sara and Jackie and 10 other people. So our
Absolutely.
group chat, which we warned Miss Tampa, getting into it. I mean, we're going all day, every day, I feel
And
like.
sometimes I miss stuff.
I know, it's like do not disturb. But
Yeah.
it's nice because you have that support whenever you need it. I mean, even down to like when Hannah was getting married, she got an inquiry and you're like, Alyssa, can you respond on behalf of her?
Yeah.
Of course, being Hannah, she was responding anyway.
I know, yeah.
But it's nice that we have that
support team,
backing. Yeah,
absolutely.
you're never alone. So
And, obviously having, like, Peyton, who's our producer for This Takes the Cake as well,
Yeah.
for the back of social media, making sure your posts are posting and all of
Absolutely.
those things, their website, all of those things. It's
for sure.
a
Yeah.
lot of, a lot of companies, if you just did your own thing, you don't have the support for those things.
And I will say, as I grow and as we get bigger, it is so nice to have that kind of support. Because where I used to do all of my blogs, I'm like, here, Peyton, here's an album. Can you please do this for me? I'll Venmo ya. Because it
Yeah.
just makes it so much easier. And that saves an hour of my time to focus on things I need to
Something else.
focus on.
Absolutely.
So it goes a long way. And even down to, obviously marketing and like welcome boxes and whatnot. You're like, you need chapsticks? Like, I got
Yeah.
you. Like, just ask me.
So you don't have to order 500.
Exactly.
You could order 20 from us.
Yes. So like
so.
where you would be doing things all on your own and having to store and pay for things in bulk and full, we're dividing it as 12 different people.
Like,
so
I think we just bought 500 or no, maybe 300 welcome boxes.
the welcome boxes.
And then we
mhm.
split it between everybody, which
Yeah. It was
was like 100 and
150
some bucks
Yeah.
per person, to
Yeah.
get it versus
Exactly.
1,800
Yeah.
to
So,
divide boxes.
right? So compared to somebody having to do it
for
alone.
cardboard.
Yes, for cardboard, but beautiful cardboard made by Peyton.
yes.
So
And then obviously we have Lynn on the back end too, if like
Mm-hmm.
for room blocks, if you needed anything, which she's great with that. Or
absolutely.
any honeybook things. So,
Yes,
yeah,
and
so.
that's like one big thing too, because obviously we are a large team. Everybody's doing room blocks, and all these room blocks are filtering into one thing. And here comes Lynn with Happy Mail. She's like, "Hey, you got a check coming?" And I'm like, "Oh, thank you, Lynn."
Sara owes you.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Sara owes you. She'll
See,
Venmo
it's not
you.
always you owe me. I owe you too.
Exactly. Oh, I know. We just return money to each other all the time. This is what we do. If Venmo watches us, they're like, what is going on with those girls?
Okay. Any advice you would give to anyone considering being a part of SMB?
For sure. So biggest piece of advice is, yes, you have a team. Yes, you have support. You are given all of the tools that you need to do this, but you also need to
have
do
a little
things.
hustle.
Exactly. You need to hustle. You need to be focused. Like, we are a big group of like very independent, like strong women. So you have to be able to mold into
You just saw me get up and walk out the door.
Exactly. You know, like everyone can hold their own. Like, you've definitely got to be invested, like Zoom meetings, like, you know, come prepared, be ready to be attentive and like focused on the things that we're talking about. You know, it's kind of how they always say, like, you can lead an animal to water, but you can't make them drink.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Like,
Absolutely.
you're being handed every tool possible, but you have to have the hustle and the grit about it to be able to do it yourself.
No, for sure.
So,
We give lots, maybe way too many tools to do it.
right? I know.
So
If you've ever seen the
So
Bible.
we have an SMB Bible. I don't even know how many pages it is now.
I have no clue.
It
You
started
just
at
scroll.
700, but I'm pretty sure it's over 1,000 now, for sure.
Absolutely.
And it literally has in there how to set up your phone for your email,
Which is a big one.
all the way how to blog to, I don't even,
Oh my gosh.
everything.
It's all the things. It's email templates,
Yeah.
like, you know, any question that you could potentially be asking, it's in the Bible.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah. It's in the
Don't ask unless you've looked in the Bible.
If you've looked 5 times and you haven't found it, then you can ask
Then
me.
you can ask. And you'll probably still say it's in the Bible.
I swear it's in there.
Like, where are you looking? 'Cause
Lynn,
it's in
find
there.
it. No, I'm kidding.
Exactly. Lynn, go find it.
All right, so let's talk about you being your own boss. So what are some things you've taken away of owning your own business, doing hundreds of weddings and conferences? What have you taken away from?
Absolutely. So obviously when you start out, you are given all these tools, like you think you know what you're doing, but I look back at obviously emails from 2018 and whatnot, and I'm like, ugh, like, you know,
Cringe.
like
I wrote that.
yeah, right. To whom it may concern. I'd be like, my name is Alyssa.
And here's my book.
Yes, like biggest takeaways for sure. Like, I think I've really grown and like learned how to be like a true like wedding professional, like building the network, knowing how to communicate, you know, being able to execute confidently is such a big thing. The first weddings that we've all done, we're like, oh God, you know, but nobody knows how to do your job better than you do.
Right.
So that's been a big thing. Being organized, obviously, in our world, if you're not, I don't know how you survive.
Forget it.
So, right? I know. So those are definitely really big things that I've taken away, and each year just gets better and better. The more you
Right.
know, the more people you learn to
Right.
meet. It's all.
So what's the coolest event that you've personally planned?
Oh, yeah. So we've done quite a few, but I think my favorite so far was Chrissy and John's wedding this past October.
That was really pretty.
Which
Yeah.
we're going to be getting their pictures back soon. I know everyone's so excited for them. But it was amazing. It was the most vendors we've ever worked with, the highest level of execution we've probably done, which
Love
was
it.
amazing.
Yeah.
You know, because
Yeah,
I was
for
like,
sure.
I am capable, I can do this.
Right.
And it opened the door for so many other things because people see that you can produce that level of work, that I've put in the work, and then I have all this stuff backing me, you know, like the
Right.
blog and
Yeah,
whatnot.
of course.
So yeah, it was a really good one. All the
love it.
things.
Now you do have one coming up, which I'm curious to see how it all ends up. But the one with the TV show that you're doing,
Yes.
more, would you call it a corporate event? Or?
It's pretty much a premiere night.
Okay,
So
yeah.
we met with them this past week, and basically, Dennis Quaid has a new show, which is really cool, called Viewpoint with Dennis Quaid, something of the sort. But basically, they're filming in Charleston, and Beyond Distilling is being featured, which is awesome.
that's awesome.
And they're such a great group. We met them, and they're so chill.
Love
Yeah,
it.
they had on the pink heart glasses, and they gave us some for, you know, security goggles while we walked through. It was pretty cool.
I love it. That's cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is amazing. But it's really neat too because the producers are basically saying, let's throw a premiere night, just kind of, for the staff and everything. And the staff, they all have disabilities. So it's going to be really sweet. Cool. Everyone's going to get their own star. But it's really cool. They're moving into this space while we're planning this space. So we were talking about it the other day and they were like, there will be barrels here and things here. And I'm like, okay, we'll come back next month and see how our plans are going. But it's going to be amazing.
No, that's cool. Yeah. And so I'll go back on that inquiry because that inquiry originally came to me.
Yes.
And so being 843 area code here and 843 area code here.
We can kind of.
Yeah, we sometimes don't know, but we're always, like when an inquiry comes through, like we want the first initial person to be who you're going to be working with. That way if there's a connection and things. And I remember I called you. I was like, I'm not sure. Like, do you want to take it? Do you want to take it? And I was like, no, I'm going to take it. I'm going to sell it. Yeah. And then I get her on the phone. She's like, Charleston. I'm like, oh, shit.
You're like, well, I'm in Myrtle.
So I we played it off well. I sold her, and I was like, she wants a contract. Yeah. And so I think I just ended up CCing on an email and said, hey, Alyssa will be handling your event for you. And we went.
Yeah. So, and it was beautiful. And I do feel like, I mean, obviously their group, they're super chill and they're amazing. And I think she was saying that she plans a lot of events for them. So she's just thrilled that we can come in and do it and she doesn't have to worry about it. Because they have like 2 more that she's planning before ours even. Yeah. Oh, dang. So,
and she was so excited that we got back to her immediately.
Oh, she was. So, I know. Yeah. I think it turned around within an hour. And we were like, oh my gosh, okay, Carrie Ann, when do you want to walk through? Like, let's do this. I love it. But yeah, it's great. And that's also an amazing thing as a team. I always handle my calls. But in that case, it was kind of like, is it coming to you? Is it coming to me? Sarah talked to her. It worked out great. And then just got passed along to Charleston.
For sure. So. Or if someone's too busy, let's say you get an inquiry and you can't take it because you're already booked for that weekend. You'll reach out to the other franchise girls and be like, hey, is anybody interested in this date? Which is awesome.
Absolutely.
Having a team.
And that's what's amazing for our new girls as well, because if they're not, of course everybody has their building year. Yeah. It's like, okay, well, I have an open opportunity in Charleston, and who better to do it than an office owner? Right. Absolutely. So it's great. And they get to build revenue and, build their portfolio while we go. So.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
How are we on time?
You're at like 35, but I probably have to cut at least 5.
Okay.
Okay.
We can talk about, where to get more franchise information, who to contact. We can talk about the process of the franchise, because now we have like interview process and projects and stuff. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I was about to say, if you, because obviously you know that side better, so if you want to lead through it, go for it.
Yeah, perfect. But I'll let you chime in.
Oh, of course. Yeah. I'll just listen.
Yeah, no, totally. So this past summer, we did our first franchise training here in this office, which is super cool.
So fun. Everyone came in. Sarah was at the whiteboard.
Right. But I had some of my girls be a part of it as well, because I always say, sometimes they know best what I like. So for them to obviously, not that they're necessarily training you how to plan a wedding, but just a refresh and reminders to go through everything, because there's a lot of steps and process that we do.
There are, and I feel like it's nice as well, because yes, we are franchises, and I know we're in all these different areas, but I don't think people realize how close this group actually is.
Yeah.
So it's fun for everybody to get together and the team building, the toilet paper wedding dresses and stuff. We had such a good time. It's fun. Not like it was good summit where you're sitting there for 10 hours. Right. So it was good.
And how you said we're so close, even if someone emails or calls and wants to maybe start the interview process to have a SMB location, I always welcome them to call one of you girls and talk them through. Maybe there's certain questions they'd rather ask you than me. For
sure.
And so whatever they want answered, because I always tell them I want it to be a good fit. I don't want any miscommunication or misinterpretation or anything to not them know what they're walking into. So,
and it's really nice too, because I feel like they can absorb a lot from you, but then questions pop up. So, and even other things, if they are going into a city, they can talk to Atlanta and Chicago and
someone that would relate with that.
Yeah, for sure.
Myrtle Beach isn't going to relate to a New York City.
Exactly. Yes. So talking to those people goes a long way.
So I guess we could actually talk about the process of actually becoming an owner in one of the cities.
Yeah.
So obviously, first thing is first to send that to whom it may concern email.
May concern.
And then from there, it's mainly most with me, interview with me, whether that's a phone call or
Yeah.
a Zoom or in-person meeting. And then we do have 2 projects. So one is a logistical project, and then one is a creative project. And that really is able to like tell a lot about a person and the projects and how long it takes them to complete and what it looks
Yes.
like. And there's a lot of things that go into that, or how serious they are.
For
They're
sure.
like, oh, I got to do a project. you
It,
know?
right?
So,
But it does go a long way, and it also gives them a feel for even if they enjoy doing it.
Exactly,
You know,
absolutely.
like everyone wants to be a wedding planner, but do you really?
yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
So.
It all looks fun on Insta, right?
Exactly. All looks
We
fun
have
on
so much fun.
Insta.
So that's, I would say, obviously the interview process for that. So that would be the interview process for that. And then it's probably a good 4 to 6 weeks.
For sure.
With the onboarding. And when I say onboarding, that's just like the legal side of it.
Yeah.
Getting that part taken away. And then from there, there's obviously training, obviously them coming here into Myrtle Beach to do actual weddings and events and execution. Depending on where they're located, lots of Zooms and phone calls.
Yes, because they can't
yeah.
always be in Myrtle Beach.
Or if I'm lucky to have someone like Caroline that just already knows everything. That
Right? I know that worked for you, and it's
Yeah.
just going to move on down to Florida.
Right.
Easy.
So yeah, definitely if you guys want to check out our website, look at our franchise locations.
Yeah.
We're always open and willing if someone's interested in another city that's not on there.
Absolutely. We love it.
We just want it to be obviously successful for you. So,
Yes. Again, invest and invest.
Exactly.
It needs to work for everybody.
We do our research too before we pick a city as well.
Yes.
Because we want it to be a win-win situation. You
Absolutely.
make money, I make money.
Right?
So-
We all make money.
Exactly. Well, thank you for coming on. It was awesome
Yeah.
to have you here in Myrtle, here at the headquarters to
Of course.
talk about becoming from intern to your own boss. So check us out on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all those fun things. And thanks for coming on to this Take the Cake.
Yes, absolutely. Bye.